Hey, it's Arfan here with Ads with Arfan, and I'm popping on today because I want to show you an advanced Facebook ad targeting method, but a research method for finding relevant audiences for coaching. I love this because every time I work with a new client, it's always, well, I don't really know who to target. I know where my people hang out, but how do we get the targeting right? So I go through this and I spend a lot of time researching so we can get really great targeting, because you can have the best ad in the world. You can say the right things, but show it to the wrong people, and you're gonna hear crickets. All right, so let's cue the intro, and let's have wait. Before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more videos. All right, cue the intro, and I will pop into Ads Manager, and I will chat with you there. Alright, we're in the Ads Manager, and there's a couple of things you want to have, right? So you do want to kind of have a list of those people that your audience are following, the places that they're hanging out, where they're spending their time, what are their hobbies, what do they love to do, and based on your offer, whatever, again, you're a coach, so like, what are you coaching for? Are you doing for mindset? Are you doing for business? Different things like that. So I'm using some examples for business because it's going to help to get some really good examples here. So what we want to do is, when we're in Facebook Ads Manager, we're going to come over here to the business tool menu, and if you're at the older version, so let me switch to the older version to give you an example really quick. On the top here, you're going to click on the business tool menu, and the menu is going to look exactly the same unless you have like the really old version, which at this point you shouldn't. And what we want to go to is Analyze and Report, and we're going to go to Audience Insights. Now, where the Audience Insight menu is going to ask us where we want to start. Go ahead and choose everyone on Facebook. So we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and close this out. So you want to choose your location. So I'm going to choose the United States. I'm going to leave it like that. And you can see there's 150 to 200 million people active. And this is like the past 30 days who are active. So it's a lot of people on there we want to research. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at a few things. So we have demographics, which is going to tell us the age and gender, the relationship status, education level, job title, things like that. And we're going to have page likes. This is one thing we're going to be focusing on here. So for example, if you're in a coaching niche and you're targeting people in business, you could target a few things. Maybe you're helping people who are CEO transition to having online business, or helping small business owners transition to having a business online, or you're just helping new potential audiences. Like maybe you're helping stay-at-home moms, right? Now start a home-based business so they can help to provide additional income for their family, a number of different things. So we want to look at these interests and see like, okay, what are some things they're following? What are some magazines they're potentially following? So we can get some interest that we want to target. Because you can type in, like, for example, stay-at-home parent. And that could be a very broad category. And we can see Facebook is not giving some data on that for whatever reason. So let's try something a little bit different other than stay-at-home parent. Let's see. Let's try this one, stay-at-home mom, see what comes up. Okay, so we have 4 to 4.5 million people. That's very broad in terms of what's going to be active. But that's good. We want to do broad. Here's a little trick. When we're targeting cold audience, we want to be as broad as possible. So when you have a bigger and broader audience, and I don't mean too broad, I'm talking about 20 million, 30, 40, that's way too broad. But we want to be, I like to be at like 6 million or under. Like 1 to 6 million. That's like a sweet spot I found to work really good for ads, especially when we're in the coaching niche, right? So what we're going to do is, this is one audience right here. We can narrow it down, of course, to women. And you'll see a drop. Whatever the case is. So, and then we want to do by age. So if you're targeting stay-at-home mom that are 25 to 40, and you can see again, it's still a really good size audience, 1 to 1.5 million. And that's for the past 30 days. This entire audience size is going to be much larger than that. Okay, so what we want to do now is we're going to come over to page likes. Okay, because here's the thing, if you just write down everything and everyone they're following and all that stuff, a lot of times what ends up happening is that they're not a targetable audience. We're not able to actually create an ad to target that audience based off of that information alone. So we want to come here and we can see like community. Okay, successful stay-at-home moms. Yep, my ideal client would follow them. They'll follow, like all these here, my ideal client will follow. Romper, 90s kids parents, yep. If I'm targeting something, if I'm making a course for stay-at-home moms to be able to start an online business to make additional money, these are things they're following. So what I'm looking at is like, if there's enough that matches here, then I know this is a good audience. If I know that they're going to be generally interested in about maybe 60-70% of everything on here, that's a good audience to follow. Like Disney Junior, Lifetime, you know, interesting enough, right? That's a combination. But yeah, they'll be following those, or at least they're probably playing Disney Junior at nighttime. They want to watch Lifetime. Like, you know, I'm making some assumptions there, but that could be it. And then we're going to see page likes, and these are some pages they follow. Now these are also potential additional targets that you can create for audiences when you're split testing, because what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the affinity score. And what this tells us is, you know, how likely your audience is to like a given page compared to everyone on Facebook. So they're 876x, you know, that's your affinity score for a successful stay-at-home mom. So here we already have one audience. We have one potential audience, and now we have another one. So here's the thing, like, is this audience actually targetable? Can I actually create an ad and put it just in front of successful stay-at-home moms, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here. I'm going to type that in. Successful. So we have it right there, successful stay-at-home moms. Perfect. So now we have two different audiences that we can target, right? So we don't actually have to, in part of the research, I hope you're grasping this, is that we want to generate enough people we can target. And I like to come up with at least 10 different cold audiences that we can target. So that way, when I put my ads up there, I can target these different audiences, see which one's going to respond the best. And then I can just I can scale my ads to just that one audience, or 2 or 3 or 4 audiences that are responding the best. And we can start bringing in those really good leads. And this is the research process. The next one, here's another one, the life of a stay-at-home mom. Okay, that could be another one. So let's see. The life of a stay. Right, so there we go. It's an example of, you know, not everything is targetable. So this one right here, although it's a good affinity score, we can't target them. We can't actually put our ads in front of them. So that's an example there. And now there's other ones on here too as well, where we can click see all. And what we also want to get at, right, other than just like the community and interest, things like that, we want to see like who else are they going to be following. So like bloggers is a really good one. Authors, this is another one that's really good too as well. And let's go down here. Publisher, that's a really good one to use. Website. Retail company, this might be a little too broad because that's just a retail company. And like hair company, like Shutterfly, Mommy Has Them Out, all the US, those are all pretty good to do. Okay, so let's see, actor, and we have, okay, so this personal blog, like Mommy Needs Vodka, that's a really good one, because that's like a perfect. So then we have 3 different audiences that we could target, and we're not going to create them all together under one stack. What we're doing is we're trying to gather this information, and I'm going to write this down somewhere so I don't forget it as I take you to the next process. So successful stay at home. Okay. Then we have Mommy. Pretty funny title, I don't know. Right? So, and the other thing is too, like if you've researched, like, okay, so we know we're targeting moms, we want to target those audiences, but also like what are some other authors they're following, right? And a big one might be, let's say for example, Rachel Hollis, super popular. So let's try her and see what happens. Rachel Hollis. Oh no, we can't target Rachel Hollis. That's unfortunate because she has a massive audience, right? But again, we can't target her. What about somebody else? Let's say like another author. How about Brene Brown? Right, perfect. We could target Brene Brown. If you know, like, hey, a lot of my audience follows Brene Brown, or if you have like you're targeting moms that are also Christian, like for example, it'd be like Proverbs 31 Ministries, right? That's another one. So now we have like 5 different potential audiences. And doing this research goes pretty quickly. And again, we're gonna look at the page likes. So for example, for Brene Brown, we can come on here and we can see like, okay, well, they like Rachel Hollis. Well, I knew my person liked Rachel Hollis. I couldn't target Rachel Hollis. So this is a pretty good example that I'm leading in the right direction, right? Elizabeth Gilbert, and I'm looking to see like, based on your research and your audience, of knowing your audience. And if you don't have that much research, this is probably going to give you some insight in regard to what your audience likes, but it's good to also talk to a few people to get really good understanding. So Elizabeth Gilbert could be another one. Super Soul. This is us. Again, that can be very broad, very generic, so I wouldn't do that. Same thing with Super Soul. It can be pretty broad too as well. Birchbox, some of these things. So the biggest question is like, okay, does my ideal client resonate with some of these things? And again, if 60 to 70% of it matches, so if I know like, hey, I'm targeting a stay-at-home mom who wants to generate more income for their business, and they follow Brene Brown, and they do like Rachel Hollis, and more likely they like Lisa Turquoise and Glennon Doyle. I'm not sure who those people are exactly, and then I go through this whole thing and I'm looking like Thrive Market, like, yeah, they're a little more conscious. They like Thrive Market. Positive Parenting Solution, they're stay-at-home mom, they like that. Real Food, they like that. TV shows, these are potential TV shows they follow. And I go through the list really quickly, and then I come right down to page likes, and I'm looking at this too as well. So the Affinity Score. Okay, so they're obviously gonna like Brene Brown, that's what I'm targeting. Glennon Doyle is another one, which is pretty big. And you can look at the audience size, 756,000 people audience size, so that's really good audience size. And so this is a really good audience, and it gives them an idea too. Like, okay, you know what? Like, I'll also target Glennon Doyle. So let's see if Glennon Doyle is perfect. So Glennon Doyle does have a target. So now we just very quickly, just this example, we've come up with a variety of exact and in-depth target audiences, right, in the United States. Okay, and you can expand that to also include things like Canada, the United Kingdom, and you can see your audience size starting to increase too as well. So again, you're getting very specific in it too as well in terms of who you're targeting. So let's take this off really quick. So again, who we're targeting, very specific on the age, of course, the gender, and then we're just narrowing it down to these people. So we're trying to see, like, I know my audience is gonna congregate, meaning that they'd most likely sit to watch a Brene Brown special on TV. They'll listen to Brene Brown on a podcast. They'll read her book. If she's having an event, they'd most likely go to her event, and that's what we're doing. The next step in this process, and I'll go to it here, is going to go back to Audience Insight. Okay, I had to pop back into the ad account, but what we're going to do is go back to our business tool menu, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to audiences this time. And what I'm going to show you is how you can actually create these audiences. So let's go ahead and hit create audience, and we're going to do a saved audience. Okay, and what we're going to do is match those same criteria. We're targeting 25 to 40-year-old women that speak, let's just say, English, and you can choose whatever language you want that's relevant to your audience. You can see that's 44 million people, obviously too broad and not specific. We're going to go to detailed targeting, and like before we had successful stay-at-home moms, right? And this is actually comes out to be a really small audience. So again, I wouldn't target that, and that could potentially be an issue with Facebook. So it's worth to see, like, based off of what we were looking at before, was that size small? So let's take that off right now. It says 6,900. That's pretty small, right? And this is the second step in it, to just verify that you have a good audience in that. So we want to do that research first to make sure it's targetable, and then so we'll come down here and then we'll see. Let's see, mommy needs vodka. Okay, perfect. Right. So 3,600,000 people. That's perfect. That's a really good audience. And there we go. That's it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. Just leave it like that alone. Don't stack it. Don't go crazy. You could, if you wanted to, if it was really, if it was a lot, or if you want to narrow it down. But that's a really good audience size at the beginning. because again, you want to keep it a little broad, especially if you're just trying to create targeting and you want to just put a freebie out there. Because the important thing is, for a freebie, like, Facebook knows who to show it to, right? And we want to have enough of audience size so it can show it to the right people. And again, my sweet spot between 1 to 6 million. So this is 3.6. That's perfectly fine. The next thing I'll do is I just give it a good name, something that'll be good for me to remember. So let's say audience. So let's see, mommy needs vodka, and let's call it 25 to 40, and then USA, because I might create one for USA, and then if you're also targeting Canada, we can also go and add a separate one for Canada. A lot of times I don't like to include it all in one, but in this case I would, because it's only 500,000 more. So like I could potentially include USA and Canada too as well in there. And then what we just do is we hit create saved audience. And now we have our audience. So when we go to create our ad, it's simple. We don't have to do this step again. We just choose our campaign, we select our saved audience in our ad set, and then we just create our ad. And it just takes away it just eliminates that entire process of trying to get really clear on who I'm targeting and trying to set it up when making the ad. So we do this pre-work beforehand. So there you have it. That's a little detailed on how we can really just research our audience and look at those page likes to see who else is following. Another little trick that you can do too as well is if you pop over to Facebook, like for example, let's go to, I'm gonna do incognito, right? Because it works really better that way. And let's do Brene Brown. And what happens is when you're on here, it'll show you Brene Brown, and then when you scroll down, it will show books, and it'll show you all her books, but also show people also search for. And right here, Glennon Doyle, right? That was one that came up, and it'll give you some ideas too as well of potential, other potential influencers that are also of the same, like kind of like that same niche, that same area. That could also be potential target audiences too as well. And again, the challenge is you can write all these names down, but then again, they may not even be a targetable audience. So that's why we want to make sure we're going on there and doing our due diligence to make sure that it's targetable, so we can save our time as well. The last thing is you can also use Amazon and just different places where you can find audience. Facebook groups, just ask people in groups, just do a poll, do a survey, and see what other people say in regards to like, okay, well, who are you targeting, or not necessarily who you're targeting, but asking them like who they follow or why they like a certain book or like a certain author or something like that to get some ideas. But you know what, you could save a lot of those time too as well. I do recommend doing that. However, in terms of researching on Facebook, hop on over to the business tool menu, go to audience insights, and I guarantee you, once you go there, once you start this process, it's very easy to end up spending like hours on here just researching and looking, and then you start following all these additional people too as well, because again, your ideal client's following them, so now you're following them to see what they're saying, what they're talking about, what the responses they're getting, and it just helps you to really get a thorough understanding of your audience when it comes to targeting and marketing to them. So again, my name is Arfan. A little tutorial really today for how to really just research audience insights so you can get really advanced targeting going. So if you like this video, drop a like below, subscribe, and in the comments just tell me what your biggest takeaway was, and I'll be there to respond to you as well. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you all next time.